I'm going to give you, going 5-1, 5 bubble teams that need to start winning. And obviously, we're starting with this weekend. Number 5 on the list is the Virginia Tech Hokies. Virginia Tech had a big win a little over a week ago at Clemson, and since then had a very bad loss at home against Florida State, and then also had a very difficult loss on the road the other night at Miami. Virginia Tech still is going to play at Carolina and at Virginia. Hokies got to win one of those games to make the NCAA tournament as an at-large. Number 4 is VCU. VCU is on the quiet 10-game winning streak maybe in the history of college basketball. Phil Martelli has done a great job, Phil Martelli Jr., in taking over the Rams program. Went to the NCAA tournament last year at Bryant. There is a smaller margin for error when you are playing in the Atlantic 10 versus a power conference. But if you split the atom on VCU's resume, there are not any bad losses. The worst loss is at George Mason. VCU played NC State tough. VCU played St. Louis tough at home. VCU also played Utah State tough on a neutral court. VCU, to be an at-large team in the NCAA tournament, has to Friday night in the game of the year in the Atlantic 10, go to Chaifetz Arena and beat St. Louis, and then it has to win the rest of its regular season games and go deep in the A-10 tournament. That is the path for Phil Martelli Jr. and company to get in that large bid. Have to beat St. Louis on Friday night at Chaifetz Arena. I can't wait for the game. It's the game of the year in the Atlantic 10. Number 3, Santa Clara. Santa Clara lost a major opportunity last weekend at home against Gonzaga to move the needle. I am still going to have the Broncos as of today in my bracket. Santa Clara can't lose any more of its regular season games to feel good about its at-large chances. 22-6 right now, home win over St. Mary's, but Santa Clara also has to deal with the fact that it lost a game to Loyola Chicago in a neutral court. To me, Santa Clara's got to win out, including beating St. Mary's and Moraga. That would be a sweep over St. Mary's. That would be enough to get Santa Clara into the bracket. Auburn fell to 14-12 with a loss against Mississippi State last night. Stephen Pearl's squad built major equity early, beating Arkansas, beating Texas, beating St. John's in Las Vegas, beating NC State at home. But Auburn now is on a major, major slide. And Auburn's season will come down to Saturday's game against Kentucky. After that, Auburn's at Oklahoma, Ole Miss at home, at Alabama. Tigers have to win on Saturday to make the NCAA tournament as an at-large, in my opinion, because other than that, the games at Oklahoma and the games at Ole Miss are going to hurt you more than they help you. But if Auburn does not win on Saturday and it goes to 14-13, it's going to take winning out in a major, major run in the SEC tournament, in my opinion. And number 1 is UCLA. Now, UCLA got blown out at Michigan and at Michigan State. 17-9 right now, 2 quad 1 wins, no quad 3 or 4 losses. The win over Purdue is huge, but there needs to be more meat on the bone for the Bruins' resume. UCLA has been in the news the last couple of days because of what happened in the Michigan State game. Mick Cronin obviously felt that Stephen Jamerson, one of his players, committed too hard of a foul. We did not get the full explanation on that for why Stephen Jamerson was ejected from the game. It was obviously a moment that's been embarrassing for the school. It's created a national story. There was also something with a reporter after the game. The best way to remedy a situation like this, especially in a pressure cooker job like UCLA, is to beat Illinois on Saturday night. I've covered Mick Cronin for 20 years. To me, this is the same person that we saw fighting, scratching, and clawing at Cincinnati. Doesn't make it right. He is who he is. The spotlight on him at UCLA is significantly bigger than it was at Cincinnati. But it's the same person that I saw in the old Big East at Cincinnati. It's just manifesting itself in a different way. And from my perspective, this is why he's really upset. UCLA, after the season last year, knew it needed to upgrade its point guard position. So it went and got Donovan Dent. Part of the pitch to Donovan Dent was the opportunity to play with a Daimara. UCLA thought it was going to be able to retain a Daimara. He comes back, says he wants to go in the transfer portal. This is college basketball in 2025, transfers to Michigan. UCLA was not able to get a replacement anywhere near the caliber of a Mara. And two of the things that we've talked about all season long when we talked about some of the issues for UCLA was production at the 5 spot and also defense, which is directly related to what? Rim protection. So UCLA, who came in as a preseason top 15 team, has not lived up to expectations. Sky Clark, who was the most consistent guard for this team throughout the first 2 months of the season, has missed 5 weeks due to injuries. It has been a very difficult season for the Bruins. That doesn't mean that the frustration should manifest itself the way that it has this week. That's just part of the deal. And this is the person that you're dealing with. He's not going to change. This is who he is. And that path and that demeanor is how he was able to build Cincinnati's program from the ashes and then build UCLA into a program that pre-NIL was one of the top 4, 5, 6 programs in college basketball, the way it operated from 2021 when UCLA went to the Final Four, then 22 and 23, despite massive injuries, made the Sweet 16. But UCLA has to beat Illinois to take a step forward towards being in the NCAA tournament. The Bruins, aside from the Illinois game, will also have quad 1 opportunities home against Nebraska and also on the road at USC. But I'll say this, beating Illinois, and I've talked about Illinois for a large portion of the show, beating Illinois is the type of win that would improve UCLA's seed in the NCAA tournament by a seed line or two.